Hey, mole gamers, welcome back. A survivor is made, not born. Tomb Raider. This is a 2013 Tomb Raider. We're taking a look at it for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, even PC. This is not in a few places. So, how does Tomb Raider stack up? Keep watching. Quick word from our sponsor, Game Central. GameCentralOnline.com. Game Central is located in the Crossroads Mall in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Check them out, Game Central. They do a lot of used games, new games, anywhere from retro all the way to current. They buy, sell, trade, the whole shebang. Check them out, Game Central in the Crossroads Mall, St. Cloud, Minnesota. Tomb Raider is an old franchise. And the thing about Tomb Raider is that it's had its ups and downs. I remember playing the original on my Sega Saturn. It was blocky, it was awkward in 3D, whatever, but it was fun. And then along comes Tomb Raider 2, and then you have Tomb Raider 3, Tomb Raider 4, Tomb Raider Chronicles. And we just started realizing this is the same engine regurgitated multiple times. What are you doing, guys? So Tomb Raider basically went to this point where it became redundancy, and it was like your Madden and other games. They just kept releasing a new one every year and expecting you to just live up, love it, learn to love it, guys. Whatever, guys. Anyway. So then it came into Angel of Darkness, and that was the last time Core had their shot at it. And Angel of Darkness was abysmal. That was a horrible thing to do. And then they lost it. And then Crystal Dynamics got their shot. Crystal Dynamics did a remake called Tomb Raider Anniversary of the first one. And they did Tomb Raider Legend, which was decent enough. And Tomb Raider Underworld, which was another, solid. It was bringing Tomb Raider into the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era. But it wasn't doing a whole lot to make Tomb Raider comparable against other games of the time. I mean, it was on par, but it was on par with everything. There was really somewhat on the weekend, but no real reason to play it over anything else during that era. Especially not with stuff like Shadow of the Colossus out there, which is an epic game. Then Eidos, under the oversight of Square Enix. And Square Enix we know from Final Fantasy games and a lot of epic RPGs, cinematic stuff. They bring Tomb Raider back in 2013. What do you have? You have one of these games, I'm just going to say right now, if I made a masterpiece list, this would be very close to my masterpiece list. Games that are just really good, could be played ages from now. It starts out with Lara Croft on one of her normal archaeological exploits, whatever, with a whole bunch of people. After a storm, they become stranded on an island. People are separated, and there's crazies on the island, by the way, who start going after them, hunting them, taking them down, killing them, all sorts of other stuff. And the story is not really interesting to me because it's a lot of near misses and stuff like that. It's kind of like watching Arrow, by the way. It's kind of like watching Arrow because there's a lot of near misses where, hey, I can get off the island in a moment. Oh, joy, the plane just crashed. It was going to take me home. So in that way, the survival aspect of it's like, meh. But what really gets me is watching Laura grow. This is really good, very focused character development. Because Laura goes from being this little teenage, I don't have a care in my life, to I'm faced with this challenge. I have to overcome it, but I can't overcome. And then it's I did. And as Laura keeps growing and overcoming each obstacle, every obstacle that comes up, it just gets better and better and better. And that's what I'm loving, is I'm watching her grow throughout the game. And she's like, all right, I've done this before. Later on, it's like, I guess I can make it. It's a little far. And you see this resourceful little girl now becoming a seasoned survivalist. She takes quite a bit. I mean, she takes quite a bit of damage. The first thing she's impaled. Then she's got to heal herself and get through to campsite and get warm and stuff. And it's intense. That's all I can say. So the controls and the gameplay are run-of-the-mill third-person shooter. There's not much here I can really tell you. I mean, you run around just like in Gears of War or whatever. You run, you gun, or shoot with your bow and arrow. You hide, you sneak sometimes. You do some climbing up and acrobatics, but there's nothing here that would really make this stand out as a third-person shooter. If it wasn't for the story, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I don't know what to tell you there. I did like the usage of environments, and this is another amazing thing about it. They use lighting, they use ambiance, they use it very well in conjunction, even to the point where Laura's breathing patterns change when she's in something that might be a scarier situation. I don't know its name, but I call him Gamork, this huge wolf. And when you're going after him to retrieve a pack, basically you go into his cave and it's just, you got your torch lit, you can barely see in front of you, and shadows run across, and you're just on the edge of your seat because of the environment. And that's not the only time. They do this throughout the game. They basically get you into a point where you're just drawn into the moment, and you almost get too far into it where you feel scared because the character's in peril. And that, to get the player to feel, that is actually a trick. Not many game companies can do that. So I am totally loving that about this game. Gamer standpoint, this is near masterpiece. Environments, story, it's got two really good, solid things, and competent gameplay. I'm just going to say competent, like I said, because it doesn't really stand out to me. Morally speaking, what do you have? And this is where, parents, you definitely got to be aware about this game. I won't let my kids play or watch me. My oldest is only almost 15, and I won't let her do that because this is an intense game. They found more ways to kill Laura, brutal ways to kill Laura, than Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 2. And I thought getting chainsawed in half was just gruesome. Laura gets stabbed in the face. She gets impaled. She gets crushed. She gets beaten. I mean, they found so many ways just to really screw with her and just mangle her. And I've actually read this one up, and it seems true from everything I've read, but they even were going to take a point and they were going to have Laura raped. And I'm like, dang, that's intense. But as it turns out, the scene was reduced to just her getting beaten while tied up. So it is a really intense, really graphic game. Oh, by the way, there's blood, gun use, killing, language, strong language, by the way, things like that. Some gore, some mysticism. You may not want your kids to play it for that, but it's more the intense, the grittiness, and just the darkness about this game, as far as how you just, I don't know exactly how I can explain this exactly, but it is just super intense, and that's the best I can say. And yeah, if you watch some of the play-alongs I've done, you can see that very clearly. So, apart from the moral aspects, though, like I said, this is an excellent story, really, really good game in so many different ways. I do recommend this, though, to gamers. Hey, if you like this review, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment. We'd love to hear from you. Moral Gamer, moralgamer.com. We look forward to seeing you next time.